Being the daughter of a WWE icon has been a mixed blessing for Brooke Hogan. Fame came fast for the singer and reality star, but at what cost? Despite Hulk Hogan's immense fame, Brooke Hogan remembered her childhood in Clearwater, Florida as a lot less unusual than people might imagine. In an interview with the Hollywood Raw podcast, Brooke recalled,
"We were raised in that little small beach town, and it was nice, you know."
She also remembered that even though her father was away regularly because of his job, he also spent a lot of time at home doing regular dad stuff. He did work a lot, obviously, but he always came back a couple days a week and would make us breakfast and take us to school.
It was a pretty, normal life aside from the 18,000 square foot house and, a billion cars.
According to Hogan, living in Clearwater shielded her from just how famous her dad actually was, something she wouldn't encounter until watching him at WrestleMania or some other high-profile wrestling event.
And then you're just like, oh, I'm just so proud of him. Like, this is so cool to be a part of it.
Despite growing up with a veneer of normalcy, Brooke could never truly escape the fact that she was the daughter of a wrestling superstar. When she grew old enough to really comprehend what that meant, she began to envision herself in the spotlight as well. She told MTV, "But when I saw how people loved him and how people were attracted to him, I wanted that same thing, but without the bumps and bruises. That's not my bag." As an aspiring singer, Brooke had long demonstrated a talent for music, which led her to be discovered by boy band impresario Lou Pearlman. In fact, she was 14 years old when Pearlman signed her to his record label, Transcontinental Records. Her debut album for the label, however, was never released. Pearlman, who had launched the careers of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, wound up placing his label in receivership as authorities began to discover his criminal activities. Pearlman ultimately died in prison after getting convicted of running a multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme. Brooke experienced showbiz synergy at its finest when she appeared with her dad in a 2005 documentary special for VH1, Inside Out: Hulk Hogan Stage Dad. That special, which chronicled the wrestler's efforts to manage his teen daughter's music career, came out right at the same time that her debut single, Everything to Me, was climbing the charts. That special spawned a reality show, Hogan Knows Best. The debut episode was a ratings dynamo, bringing the cable channel its highest viewership ever. Suddenly, the aspiring pop singer was on her way. As the Hulkster told Billboard, the show had altered public perception of his daughter as a prototypical Nepo baby who was undeservedly handed a music career. He mused, "Now there's like this groundswell. They're rooting for Brooke like she's the underdog. They love her on the show, and a lot of people have heard her music." Understandably, she was thrilled at the focus Hogan Knows Best put on her fledgling music career, particularly as she was in the midst of recording a second debut album after the first was scrapped. Brooke said on CNN's Larry King Live, "It's just like my dad said, it puts you on that even playing field, with Lindsay Lohan and Hilary Duff, and it's really opened a lot of doors for me." When Brooke unveiled her first album, 2006's Undiscovered, it certainly benefited from the success of Hogan Knows Best. Yet, while the show brought them all fame, it also precipitated huge cracks in the marriage of Hulk Hogan and his wife Linda. When Hulk and Linda split after 24 years, Hogan Knows Best ended along with their marriage. VH1 tried to salvage its hit show by spinning off Brooke into her own series, Brooke Knows Best. The show ran for 2 seasons and continued to chronicle her quest to become a pop star. It was canceled in 2009.
It's really cool to see you do good, Brooke. I'm very proud of you.
Meanwhile, her parents' tabloid-ready shenanigans proved a constant distraction, pulling focus from her efforts to establish herself as a singer. That was particularly true of her 48-year-old mother's romance with a 19-year-old boyfriend who had attended high school with Brooke. In an interview with Access Hollywood, Brooke admitted the whole thing had strained their once close relationship.
You've been busy starting this blossoming relationship. This whole thing is turning out like I'm the bad guy because of Charlie.
When Brooke's Undiscovered proved to be a hit, it was a no-brainer that she'd record a follow-up. Her second album, 2009's The Redemption, was lauded by music critics as her best work yet, showcasing her abilities as a songwriter. She told Examiner, "It's about my image and it's about my life story as it's unfolding. I wanted it to be really honest." Despite her hopes for The Redemption, the album bombed hard, selling only 15,000 copies. And while that commercial failure didn't completely shut the door on what had been a promising music career, it certainly narrowed the field of opportunities for her. While Hogan never completely gave up on music, she was forced to explore other avenues, which ultimately propelled her in some unexpected directions. In the wake of disappointing sales for The Redemption and VH1's cancellation of her reality series, Brooke did a complete 180 away from music and joined TNA Wrestling in 2012. In her new role, Brooke served as an executive responsible for the Knockouts, TNA's new roster of female wrestlers. Brooke explained while appearing on Sway in the Morning,
"We're dealing with a couple things with like tag teams and kind of who's fighting who, and I need to come in there and straighten it all out because they're all over the place right now.
Meanwhile, Brooke also appeared at matches and became part of a TNA storyline romance with wrestler Bully Ray. When he popped the question in the ring, the result was a wedding, which was ruined when a full-on pro wrestling melee broke out. Ultimately, she wound up moving on from TNA wrestling about a year later. While Brooke's TNA marriage was part of a fictional TV storyline, in real life she was dating Dallas Cowboys star Phil Costa. In June 2013, Hogan revealed that she and Costa had gotten engaged. A mere 5 months later, however, it was all over. While neither Hogan nor Costa offered any reasons for their split, distance could have played a big factor in the decision to end the engagement. Her rep told E! News, Brooke moved back to LA from Dallas a couple of weeks ago to be closer to her mom Linda Hogan, and she is currently in the studio working on her album. Another potential reason behind the breakup emerged when her dad revealed that he did everything he could to slam the brakes on his daughter's relationship with Costa. Hogan told Dallas radio station 105.3 The Fan, "I put a bullet in that really quick. There was no way my daughter was going to marry somebody that I don't like that got me mad or has gotten my face." As promised, Brooke unveiled some new music in 2015, a 5-song EP titled I Wanna Be Your Girlfriend, and its lead single, Girlfriend. With this project, Brooke introduced a whole new feel that was miles away from her earlier pop records, rebranding herself as a country singer with a twangy Nashville sound.
It's hard for me to not listen to anything but country.
In an interview with Big Frog 104, she revealed that she'd recently moved to Nashville and had decided to go all in on country. She said, "I fell in love with Nashville because of the songwriters. I really learned that art of songwriting in Nashville.
I love to write songs, and this seemed like the place that I could really harvest my craft."
While such a seemingly radical genre switch may have seemed jarring to those who only knew her as a pop singer, Brooke felt that her new musical direction remained right in step with who she'd always been. She explained in an interview with E.T.,
People always want to box you in and say, well, what are you? You have to be country or you have to be pop. And I'm like, what if I was raised on a bunch of music?
After making inroads in the country music scene, Brooke's next venture was an all-female wrestling league she was planning to launch. She told Uprocks in 2017, "We've got a roster of 40-plus women, so there's some really incredible talent that we've got." Those plans never took flight, and later that year she returned to the familiar ground of reality television, hosting the TV modeling competition The Fashion Hero. When the series returned for a second season, however, former Spice Girl Mel B replaced Brooke. Brooke, however, wasn't done with reality TV just yet, and she appeared as one of the contestants on MTV hit The Challenge in its Champs vs. Stars season. Amid those forays into reality TV, Brooke never stopped plugging away at her music career. In 2019, she released a new single, Touch My Body, which returned to the pop sound she'd established years earlier. However, as she told LA Weekly in 2020, she had some other irons in the fire, including a business endeavor that had nothing to do with the entertainment industry. Brooke revealed to the outlet, "I released a song, I'm doing a workout legging line, and, well, I don't really tell anybody, but I have an interior design business out of Nashville, so I've just been working on growing that, making things bigger and better there too." Her collaborator in that enterprise, BB Designs by Brooke, was Ashley Menendez, her co-star on Brooke Knows Best, with the two offering design expertise specifically for Airbnb rentals. Brooke declared in a 2021 Instagram post, "If you haven't heard, I started an Airbnb design company in Nashville a few years ago, and it's doing really well." Aside from her fictitious romance with Bully Ray and her broken engagement to Phil Costa, Brooke largely kept details of her private life to herself.
I have no desire to be famous.
That changed, however, in early 2024 when she revealed that she was married and had been for some time. Brooke posted a selfie of herself and her husband on Instagram, writing in the caption, "A rare sighting of the husband. We like to keep to ourselves, but somehow the news is out." In 2023, TMZ did some digging and discovered that the two had wed back in 2022, but had kept their marital status top secret for that entire time. In a 2024 interview with TMZ, Brooke said that maintaining privacy in her personal life had become increasingly important to her over the years. She told the outlet, "We asked people to try to respect it because, it's just, I've been through so much stuff in my life. I was like, the one thing that feels like it's just so untouched and it's so pure, I just don't want to let the claws of fame sink its teeth into our relationship." While Brooke strove to keep her private life out of the media's scrutiny, that certainly hadn't been the case for her parents, particularly her dad. Since he split from Brooke's mom, the wrestler had married and divorced a second wife, Jennifer McDaniel, and then in 2023 married his third wife, Sky Daly, who was 25 years his junior. When people began to comment on her absence from her dad's 2023 wedding, Brooke issued a prolonged and somewhat cryptic statement via Instagram. She wrote in the post, "Instead of leaving it to speculation, I decided it's better to shut it all down here. year. As we all experience this with our own families, the dynamics of a family unit continuously change over the years. With that being said, my family has experienced a lot of change. She concluded by explaining that she'd made a conscious decision to remove herself from a situation she apparently felt was not conducive to her well-being. She wrote, "I have chosen to create some distance between myself and my family, and am focusing on people and things that heal my heart and align with my own personal beliefs, goals, and values."
You can take it however you want to. It is what it is.
On January 15th, 2025, Brooke Hogan and her husband's lives changed forever. The couple became the happy parents to a pair of adorable twins named Oliver and Molly. Brooke and Steven seemed excited to share the news. As the proud mama put it in the caption of a cute family photo shared to her Instagram, "Our hearts have been made whole by the arrival of these two sweet souls we get to love. God is good." But just because Brooke and Steven were excited about the twins' arrival does not mean that everybody matched their enthusiasm. Rumor has it that Brooke's father was not especially keen on meeting his new grandchildren in the months following their birth. In an interview with People, Steven said that he actually tried to get in touch with Hulk when Oliver and Molly were about 6 weeks old. And even after Hulk didn't express any particular desire to see the babies, Steven remained undeterred. He contacted Hulk a second time, telling the outlet, "I sent text messages once again to kind of gauge where he was at, but there was no interest." At one point, Brooke's brother Nick even tried to arrange a meeting between the grandfather and his grandchildren. However, it never occurred. This snub stood as a sign that issues between Brooke and her family were far worse than many fans initially realized.
Brooke doesn't talk to us. She's had twins. She got married. She didn't tell us. She had twins. She didn't tell us.
Sadly, Hulk Hogan died at 71 before he ever had the chance to meet his twin grandchildren. The professional wrestler passed away on July 24, 2025 of cardiac arrest. Hulk's death had a profound impact on Brooke, who suffered immensely in light of the news. In an emotional text shared on her Instagram, Brooke wrote, "My dad's blood runs through my veins, his eyes shine through my children, and our bond has never broken, not even in his final moments. When he left this earth, it felt like part of my spirit left with him." But even as Brooke grieved the death of her father, tensions appeared to run higher than ever. On the day of Hulk's funeral, Brooke was not in attendance, fueling rumors that things between the father-daughter duo had never truly resolved. To address these whispers, Brooke created an Instagram post featuring some cute photographs of her twins at the beach. In the caption, she wrote, "My father hated the morbidity of funerals. He didn't want one. I had to make my own decision to honor him the best and most genuine way I knew how, privately, the way that made me feel the closest to him." Brooke then explained that it felt right to mourn Hulk at the beach, a place he loved dearly. She wrote, "The only thing missing today was him in his pop-up lawn chair watching the waves." When Hulk Hogan died, he left behind a fortune estimated to be worth approximately $5 million. Brooke, however, told the press that she was not among its recipients. In a conversation with TMZ, Brooke tried to clear away any speculation about why Hulk had not included her in his estate, asserting that this was her desire. She told the outlet, "His decision is no surprise to me. It's what I asked for. I stand by it with no regrets. My dad knows I'm a hard worker and I've been surviving without his money for a long, long time." Apparently, Brooke asked her father to amend his will and exclude her back in 2023. At the time, sources close to the situation told TMZ that Brooke didn't feel that Hulk's closest friends were particularly trustworthy. She feared that upon his death, a legal battle would ensue. Because Brooke had no interest in going to court over her dad's assets, she told Hulk that it would be best to remove her from his will. Despite all the setbacks in her music career, Brooke has not given up on her dream. By the time that Hulk Hogan died, Brooke had already prepared an entire album. Although she did so privately, it seems that her new project will not remain under wraps for long.
Yes, I will have new music out.
As TMZ reported, Hulk's death inspired Brooke's ex-boyfriend, Yannick Barker, to reach out. Because Yannick's father, Cecil Barker, is the founder of Sobe Entertainment, the young record producer is extremely well connected in the music world. Rumor has it that Brooke and Yannick will collaborate to bring the aspiring musician's album to perfection. Insiders also told TMZ that Brooke has signed with Sobe Entertainment once more, meaning that we have not seen the last of her career in the entertainment industry.